So, hello students, welcome back to Daily Newspaper Analysis. And today I am here with four new important articles. So, these are your four important articles. So, first article is about Consumer Price Index, and that is from PIB. So, from exam point of view, especially from prelims. Yes. So the second important article is related to Brent crude oil. So since we are discussing various articles related to conflict in West Asia, so that's why various kind of terms like Brent crude oil, West Texas Intermediate. So regularly we are reading these kind of terms. So today we shall be discussing some of the static part about them because UPSC can directly ask question from the static part. Now, third topic is related to Earth's magnetic field. It is from The Hindu. So, see, in 2018, UPSC has already asked question about the reversal of magnetic field. So that's why this article becomes important from prelims point of view also, as well as in GS paper 1, it can be asked. And the last article is from Indian Express, and that is about Dandi March because on 12th March every year we celebrate the anniversary of Dandi March because on 12th March 1930 Gandhiji started this march. So that's why no from this prelims point of view these four articles are very important. So, our first article here is about the consumer price index. So, first of all, the context is related to the release of consumer price index because this is a monthly index. And that too, this index is released with a lag of 1 month. So, for example, the CPI of February will be released in March. Another important thing is it is released on 12th of every month. So here on 12th of March, the CPI data of February was released. So this is the first context. Second context is CPI inflation rises to 10-month high of 3.2%. So since CPI includes various volatile items also like food items, fuel items, so that's why here CPI becomes important. The 10-month high or rise in CPI becomes important. So what does the news say? The news says here the CPI is of around 10-month high. So that's why this becomes important. Another important thing is the article says that in spite of 10-month high, the CPI remains within the RBI's target range. So what is that range? That is 4% plus minus 2%. So according to RBI's target range, inflation can vary from 2% to 6%. So even after having being the 10-month high, still it is within the RBI's target range, and that is the good thing. Now, second important thing is why it is on rise. So as we are discussing from many days regarding the conflict of West Asia, so because of that there is turbulence and turmoil in the field of oil sector and energy sector. So this is one of the reason of the price rise. Coming to the prelims oriented points. So about the consumer price index. So first very thing you must know is that what is this index? Means about the definition because there might be confusion with respect to wholesale price index and consumer price index. So basically consumer price index is related to all those goods and services which are directly consumed by the consumers or households. That's why we call it as retail price index also. Retail price means price of the goods and services used by the consumers. Second important thing is which body publishes it, and no, that body comes under which ministry. So it is published by NSO, that is National Statistical Office, and it comes under which ministry? Under MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Third important thing which happened this year is The base year of CPI has been changed from 2012 to 2024. And what is the meaning of this 100 here? See, whenever we are assigning the value 100 to any year, that means it is the base year. For example, now we are assigning value 100 to year 2024. So if in year 2025 price of any commodity becomes 110, then we will say that there is inflation of 10% because the value became from 100 to 110. That's why whenever we talk about any base year or no in front of any year, if you say equal to 100, that means for anything or any survey it is used as a base year. So this is very important that now base year has been changed from 2012 to 2024. Now, it's not like only one kind of index is released for consumer price index. So we have four types of CPI in India. So they are CPI for industrial workers, agricultural laborers, rural laborers, and CPI combined, that is urban rural combined. So the starting three CPIs, that is industrial workers, agricultural laborers, and rural laborers, it is released by Labor Bureau. And Labor Bureau comes under the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So this thing is very important. So these three are released by Labor Bureau, which comes under Ministry of Labor and Employment. And last one is released by National Statistical Office, which comes under MOSPI. So these things are very important here. Since these changes are done in this year only, so we must know the basic features or what all changes were done in CPI 2024 series. So, a first important thing here is earlier six categories were used to define CPI or to give data with respect to CPI. Now, from six categories, we have shifted to 12 kind of categories. So, from 12 categories, from six categories to 12 categories. We will be discussing what are those categories. Second important thing is number of items has been increased from 299 to 358. Reason being because in past few years various kind of services has been increased. The type of services has also been increased, and the no when we are talking about goods and services, so the consumption of services like the from OTT platforms or the no online shopping platforms, these kind of services has been increased. That's why the number of items have been increased in 2024 series. Third thing is the more focus on services, as we discussed just now, like the OTT platforms, like the shopping platforms, like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra. So services from these platforms has been increased. That's why the weightage of services also very good in this. Detailed data every month. So it's not like, see, as we know that this is a monthly index, but it's not like the data is released only on all India basis. Now the data will be released separately for states also and separately for rural and urban areas also every month. Online prices included. Why online prices are included? Because the use of online platforms have been increased year after year. That's why online prices are included. Last thing, but very important, it introduces the concept of rural house rent for the first time. So through the data of rural house rent, you can easily get an idea that the rural house, you can get an idea about the rural house consumption in India. It's not like people are searching houses only in urban areas, because if you are including this data about rural house rent, then now we have an idea that yes, rural house consumption is also increasing. So, in what way question can be asked from these items? See, these type of items no will help you to eliminate the data. For example, UPSC will ask about the question on CPI. Maybe the first statement is on static part, that no which body releases this. Maybe second statement is about the base year, and maybe third statement is about the category or the online services, anything. So at least if you know all these 6 points, no, you can easily eliminate one of the statement. Yes, so this is a screenshot from PIB. So let's see if we have missed anything, because for prelims point of view, this is very important. So we should not miss anything. So first thing we have discussed that base year has been shifted from 2012 to 2024. Second thing we have discussed about the 12 divisions. Earlier there were six categories. Now we have 12 divisions. This thing also we have discussed that release of data will be on all India basis and state basis and for rural urban also separately. And about the new additions, we discussed about rural housing, online media service provider. We have discussed all these things. Now new things are value-added dairy products, barley and its product, pen drive and external hard disk, attendant, babysitter, and exercise equipment. So now, can you see attendants, babysitter, exercise equipments? If we talk about 20 or 30 years back, these services might not be important, but at present they are important. That's why government is trying to introduce the actual services which the consumers are actually using. Now, see, if new things are added, obviously few things now will become obsolete. So, what all things are removed? Those things are removed which have now become obsolete. So, what are those things? Like the CD, DVD players, like tape recorders, radio, all these things have now become obsolete and hence they are removed. So, at least you must have a basic idea about all these things. Anywhere it can be asked in examination. Yes, so this is the example what we were talking. No, earlier there were six categories and now we have 12 categories. So earlier what all categories we had? Food and beverages, pan, tobacco and intoxicants, clothing and footwear, housing, fuel, light and miscellaneous. So earlier various things were included in miscellaneous only, but now all those things are now expanded like recreation, like information and communication, like education services, all those things were earlier part of miscellaneous. So now they are expanded because their use is increasing more and